Vair Anderson Cup final this afternoon. Starting with the team on your left, the Hawks. The number 1, Julian Mannix. The number 2, he is rated at 5 goals, Brad Blake. The number 3, the quarterback of the Hawks this evening at 5 goals as well, Daniel Ronish. And the number 4 is Julie Ronish. At 10 goals, the Hawks, they are obviously in the white. Ivanhoe, the number 1, Lee Nilsson. The number 2 carries a handicap of 3 goals, Mike Curley. The number 3, he is rated at 6 goals, the highest rated player in the field this afternoon, Santiago Trotz. And the number 4 at 1 goal, the patron of the Ivanhoe Polo team, Brian Thomas. And play is underway. That, of course, is a live throw. And Ann Kendall, thank you very much, representing J. Vair Anderson quickly for the Hawks out. Brad Blake, the pass was intended for Julian Mannix. He was unable to get to it, and that is a pretty well hit ball to the front of goal. And Brian Thomas will take it out of the way for Ivanhoe. So the first close play of the game, if you will. Well, this could be it right here as Mannix gets around trying to get to the play. Can't do it. The back end, Del Tour. Out the other way for Santiago Trotz and Ivanhoe. Trotz now to move the play. In behind him is Lee Nilsson. Nilsson now to pick up Daniel Ronish, but it will be, excuse me. Trotz with the play, and it will be returned by Ronish, not, as they say. Blake on the white horse in deep water, doesn't have much of a play. He has one now, Trotz now. We'll have to watch as Blake goes to the back end to get it out. So the Hawks come somewhat close, coming closer, if you will. Ivanhoe, and they go to the side. And this one out and over the back line wide to the left-hand side. Trotz, a nice recovery and a very well-hit ball. However, it is wide out to the right-hand side for the Hawks. Brad Blake. Clock, of course, continued to run after the ball went over the back line. It will also continue to run as you watch Brad Blake rather move in when the ball goes over the side as well when a goal is scored. Downfield, ball moved up, Julie Ronish. To the front end, Julian Mannix reaches in, can't get it. Ronish will move it along. Mannix now will again defer to Ronish, and she'll move it downfield. And right now, Brian Thomas in deep water, unable to get to anybody, and that is a difficult chore. However, the ball will drop down for Trotz the other way for Ivanhoe. So the Hawks bring it about 100 yards from the goal, and that's all they get this time, and it will be Ivanhoe back the other way. Reaching in, Lee Nilsson defensively, Daniel Ronish with the play to try and set up Brad Blake. He is around and in a hurry. As coming through, Trotz committed and failed in his commitment. And it will be Brad Blake up in the front, Julian Mannix. On the gray horse, on the other gray horse, that is Brad Blake. Defensively, Trotz to get to him, gets it done. Coming through in a hurry. You've got Ronish along with Nilsson, and it will go to Del Tour. However, he'll defer to Trotz and come out the other way. Santiago Trotz, 6 goals. We'll talk about the handicap system during the course of the game. Del Tour, the backhand. Unable to get the pass off the mallet of Trotz, but it will be Trotz. Left-hand side, the pressure is Julie Ronish. Near side, Daniel Ronish to pick it up, can't do it. Trotz comes back around. For Ivanhoe, looks up, Brad Blake is positioned. However, not necessary, not this time at least. Lee Nilsson to get to Ronish. That was Daniel with the backhand to set up Brad Blake the other way. Santiago Trotz is there, and we have a whistle. Clock Trotz. And that will start the clock. Ronish, that's Daniel, unable to make the play. Bailing him out, Brad Blake. Julian Mannix is open. Expect the ball to go out. Not right away. Trotz, however, left-hand side. Can't cross the imaginary line, remember. That's why he's on the left. In, as I like to call it, deep water. Still, Trotz unable to make a play on Blake. Blake close to the goal. This one is wide. So Brad Blake, close doesn't count. You can put 9+ American football fields into one polo field. Downfield. The front end, Brian Thomas. Defended by Ronish. And the play will go to, well, it's going to keep going down for Ivanhoe. Del Tour. As Daniel Ronish unable to make the play. Del Tour looks up. Thomas is open. Crowd to the ball. Del Toro slows it down. Mannix, near side. And it will go to Trotz. San Diego Trotz, defended by Brad Blake. Polo, fastest game in the world. Well hit ball. That drops down Julian Mannix with the play in the backhand. And it will be Del Toro to come out the other way for Ivanhoe. Tries the tail shot. Couldn't get it done. Lee Nielsen is there. Daniel Roner. Should have been a difficulty. Recovers. And we'll pick it up for the Hawks out the other way. He drops it. Brad Blake will not get to the play. Del Toro did. Julian Roner, however, will pick it up and run the other way for the Hawks. Placing it to the side. And she will be watched by Brian Thomas. He can't do a whole lot, remember, cannot cross that imaginary line. That would be a bad thing to do. A foul, in other words. Roners along the boards. And it would appear is still in play, as I can't see through the umpire. We have a whistle stops the clock. Because even umpires don't always get along. Clock starts. Brad Blake. Downfield, and he would like to get it back, and that is absolutely not going to happen. Santiago Trotz now sending Del Toro up into the game. Del Toro in a horse race with Blake, and it will be Del Toro with about a 2-length lead. Watch the flagman. Del Toro shanks it out. So Blake will pick it up. Del Toro unsuccessful. Pretty good opportunity. Should have had it. Didn't. We're coming out the other way. For Blake. Ronas to pick it up. The pressure is Lee Nielsen on his right-hand side. Nice job, Nielsen. Got it done. And that is why Santiago Trotz is on the ball. So Trotz has got the ball because of his number one, Nielsen. Trotz sends it up. Del Toro. Deja vu all over again. This time it's in there. Gonzalo Del Toro, because Lee Nielsen turned it, got it. Back to center. The change ends, by the way, after every goal is scored in the game of polo. That's nullifying any advantageous or beneficial effects the elements may have. 30 seconds left to go. That's the horn. Tonight, as I like to say, an absolutely perfect day for polo here in sunny Southern California. Yes, I know we're not there. The play to the goal for Brad Blake. That is well hit. Very, very close. Trotz knows it is wide. Start the second. 1-0 Ivanhoe. They have the back line. And that is not what the Hawks wanted. They would have preferred, obviously, to get the goal or leave it on the field. They would have had a throw-in going the short way as we do not go to center to start the next chucker in polo. Gonzalo Del Toro. He is about a 3-length lead on Daniel Ronas, and it is Del Toro all by himself. Del Toro to get his second. The flagman says it's in there. Gonzalo Del Toro, his second. Back to center, change ends. Line up with the umpire. Rick Sears working along with Tom Biddle. The third man, the referee, Pedro Orellana. Julian Mannix. Looking to the mountains, didn't quite get it. Daniel Ronas will pick it out. That's a good play by Ronas to move it along forward. The Hawks, they trail, as I said, by 2. The left-hand side would be the pressure. That is Santiago Trotz. Ronas along the boards. Mannix now, shadowed by Thomas up toward the goal. Ronas will pick it up. Lee Nielsen to try and get to him. Can hook. Hooking, of course, is legal. Julie Ronas to move it along. That didn't happen. Del Toro will bring it out the other way. Ronas defensively to get to the play. That's a good play. Got it done. Did not get the ball, however. Well, got a piece. That's going to work. Nielsen will have to check in. Turning us Brad Blake for the Hawks. Trotz, left side. Can't cross the imaginary line. Deep water. That's where he is. Big play, Brad Blake. Look for the next shot toward the goal. However, Del Toro's in there to stop him. Better play, Blake. Near side. That's the left side toward the goal. Off to the right side. And that will be kicked out by Trotz straight across the front of his goal. That's going to give the play to Del Toro. Big play, the backhand. Julie Ronas, nice job. Del Toro to step in. And we have a whistle. Thomas on the move on the right, on the left-hand side. This pass intended for Brian Thomas. In behind to get to him, Daniel Ronas. Thomas on the near side. Ronas does not get the ball. Del Toro does. Thomas will stay up. Del Toro now holds on. Now he'll move up, trying to get in behind Ronish. He knows he can outrun him because he's done it already in this period. Deltour, once again, that was the play. This is in there. Gonzalo Deltour. Pun intended, if that's in fact what it was. In any event, we'll vote on it later. Ronish unable to get it out. Backhand. Thomas, nice job. Pick it up. Deltour. Looks up. Brad Blake position. To get to Deltour, it's going to have to be Daniel Ronish. Deltour called out by Trotz. Trotz to Nilsson. Waiting for him is Blake. Lee Nilsson moves it up. Brad Blake left-hand side coming through. Nilsson unable to get the ball, and it will be Blake to the far side. Sending Mannix now up into the game. Brad Blake holding on. You heard the call, hit it. That didn't happen. Now, Daniel Ronish. Deltour off on the left-hand side. Remember, he cannot cross in front. This is Ronish's right away. However, Julie Ronish defensively will go to Brian Thomas. Thomas in to make the play. Ball drops down. Mannix gets a piece to the left-hand side. Nilsson is there for Ivanhoe. Lee Nilsson gets a piece. Or called out. I think he was called out. Deltour to turn. Set something up. Looks up. No one to hit to. He's going to have to go. Not afraid to run. Brad Blake will have the play, makes the play. Good play, Blake over top of the ball. Runners coming through Thomas, called out by Trotz. Blake hits it well, and it's a good try. But we'll go a second time. Looks upfield, nothing there. Centers. This intended for Brian Thomas. Julie Ronish to run him down, get to the hook. That was a good play. Backhand by Daniel Ronish. Blocked by Deltour. Unintentional, but he got it. Deltour now to move it downfield. Lee Nilsson. Julie Ronish will pick him up. In behind the number 3 is Daniel Ronish. However, Nilsson moves it up. Ronish now with Thomas on him will pick up the play. Ronish to the right-hand side to turn it around. Wants Thomas on the left where he can't cross in front. He is not there. He is now. Lee Nilsson will have a play. Coming in, Deltour right down the right. Brad Blake, Ronish back on a fresh horse. Keep that in mind. Daniel Ronish has changed. But I know him, and as he wants Julian Mannix go to the play right now, no one else has. Mannix ties it up. 3-1. One minute and change. In fact, I think it reads about 1:05 left to go. 3-1. Hawks have the lead. Center to line up on. Rick Sears. Working with Tom Biddle. Ronish to bring it out. Turns back around for Trotz. Trotz will send once again Deltour up into the game. Tries the release. Good play to stop him, Ronish. That, in fact, was a big play as Deltour was open and available. Ball didn't get up because of Daniel Ronish. And it will go to Brad Blake. Shadowed now by Deltour. Blake defers to Ronish in behind. Now Blake steps in behind Ronish. Ronish moves forward. Nilsson to get to him. Drops down. Daniel Ronish with the play. 30 seconds now left to go in the period. A chance for the Hawks to tie. They want to get the goal or leave it on the field. They don't want to hit it over the back line. That'll give the back line to start the period to the other team. Trotz to stop Ronish. Ronish cuts shot, drops down, won't go. Play to Julian Mannix, can't do it. Stepping in, Deltour backhand. That will help. And look for Trotz to hit it downfield as hard as he can and keep the throw in away from the goal area. He got it done, still has some time, hit it again. Big play for Trotz. He gets it out of there. We go to the third with the score. 3-1, the Hawks were back in 4. It'll come from the side. As to end the period, the ball did in fact go out over the side. Trotz will look up. Thomas is open. Now covered by Ronish. Trotz will hang on. Now he'll move it. Julian Mannix to move to him, but Trotz will step up and move it downfield. Left-hand side, Brad Blake. Can't cross in front. Trotz has the right of way. Trotz, the shot toward the goal. Snakes it out in a hurry. Deltour. Brad Blake is there. Try and make the play. Deltour. Back at center, 4-1. Ivanhoe have the lead. Turning around. Ronish down by 3. 3 is workable, down by 4 is a lot harder. Well, that makes sense. Up front, Mannix. Although this will go by him and Thomas along with Ronish. That's Julie Ronish. This one will move to Julian Mannix. Next shot won't go. Stepping in Trotz. Crowd draws in as well. Nelson is there. Daniel Ronish. Trotz comes out. So the Hawks come close, and Brian Thomas will take it back the other way for Ivanhoe. Julie Ronish, backhand. Nice job. Kept it away from Thomas. Good play. Brad Blake to pick it off. Keep it away from Del Tour. Blake to turn. 150 yards to go. Again, remember, they change ends after every goal is scored. This one. Upfield, Mannix will reach in. That's a good play. Couldn't get the ball. Bad luck. Trotz. Ronish, Julie is there. Trotz barking the signal. Sending Lee Nilsson up to the front end by himself. Nilsson is there. Moves it along. Nice job. In behind Daniel Ronish. Nilsson the second time. Keeps it going. He'll go again. Nilsson is there. This one is in there. Lee Nilsson. Comes out off a horse, Brad Blake. Up in front. Moving up front, Ronish. Moving up front as well, Mannix. This one, however, will be defended by Brian Thomas. No, it won't. I take it back. Daniel Ronish. That's an extremely well-hit ball. And it will go right through there. And unless I see something different, clock, of course, continues to run. If you just joined us, it runs after a goal is scored. It doesn't stop when the ball goes over the side, nor does it stop when the ball goes over the back line. The only time the clock will stop is on the umpire's whistle, just like that. Trotz. Extremely well hit. Looks like 3 minutes and, don't quote me. Trotz, downfield. Del Tour in a hurry. Picking him up, Daniel Ronish. They will go to the boards. Ronish, the backhand, to send it straight up. That'll just simply be picked up by Trotz. Nilsson now to back him up. Trotz gets away from Mannix. Del Tour moving up into the game. Trotz will keep it. To get to him is going to have to be Brad Blake. Keep in mind, Blake is on a fresh horse. He just changed. That's not helping him right now. However, as Trotz moves up, Blake just about got him. Trotz to the goal to keep it on the field, and it is, in fact, over the back line wide to the right-hand side. I was close. Downfield. The Hawks, Julie Ronish. To move it to Mannix, picks it up. That's a nice job. Brian Thomas to pick him up, got it done. Nice job, Thomas. Julie Ronish now to move it along further. In behind Trotz, he'll pick it up from there. Turning to try and make the play. Daniel Ronish. Trotz took himself out of the play. He was looking for the whistle, didn't get it. Ronish, however, will fire it wide. Less than 2 to go now in the half. 5-2. Ivanhoe leads. The far side for Gonzalo Del Tour. Thomas up in the front end on the gray horse is open. Checking in, however, Daniel Ronish to the boards. That'll go to Del Tour. He will move it. Straight across for Thomas. Pick it up. Backhand. Now you know it was Thomas's line. Coming out. This is Daniel Ronish. Well hit ball by Ronish. He's going to have to hurry. He will need to be perfect. Watch the flag man. This one is right off the post and out of there. Thomas tries it, can't do it. Checking in, Mannix. Coming out, Trotz. So the Hawks are grounded. As we come out the other way, Del Tour, however, unable to get it going. Trotz back to Del Tour. Take a second chance. He is there. On the fly, left-hand side, Julie Ronish. Del Tour is cold. And it's cut over to the side by Daniel Ronish, picked up by Trotz. That will have to be Ronish to get back to it. Can he do it? He just got over his problem. Nice play by Ronish to get back. We have a whistle. Blake, well hit. Julian Mannix under that one. In behind with 30 seconds left, Thomas doesn't have to make the play. Julie Ronish, however, is by herself and moves it up. Straight toward the goal. Brian Thomas on the near side has the play. Can't get it done. Julie Ronish is there. It is in there. Julie Ronish makes it 5-3 as we go to the half. The J. Vair Anderson Cup. And they line up on Rick Sears. He puts the ball back into play. As I have mentioned during the course of the first half, he working along with Tom Biddle. The referee is Pedro Orellana, the man of the polo ball is Santiago Trotz. Daniel Ronish tried to get him out, couldn't do it. Trotz now by himself. Julie Ronish, backhand. Into the pack, picked up by Julian Mannix. He, to move it along, gets it out of the air. That's a nice job. That's a pretty good recovery. He has the ball now. Right-hand side was the pressure, Thomas. Blake moving it back up to Mannix. To the side. To keep it going, he does, albeit puts it into the corner. This will get him to work to bring it out the other way. So far, it looks pretty good. Therein, however, it did not. Turning back around, Trotz for Ivanhoe to come out the other way with the lead of 3 goals. Julie Ronish to get to Trotz. Santiago Trotz moves it downfield to make the play. Brad Blake, Del Tour called out, however. So Blake will run with Del Tour. Trotz will run by himself. Del Tour now to move to the goal. Trotz under the observation of Julie Ronish. Stepping in as well. You've got Daniel Ronish. In fact, it will be Trotz, however. Backhand, Mannix. Picked off by Ronish. To come out the other way. To Blake. Right-hand side, Del Tour. Intended for Ronish. Can he pick it up? Checks down in some difficulty. Can't get it done. Coming through Trotz. Defensively, remember, he will now go to the backhand and turn. He'll turn. Mannix will turn, Ronish will turn as well, and it'll be Trotz across the field. Santiago Trotz now. By himself. Pressure is there, but not very close. Trotz shot toward the goal. That is absolutely perfect for Santiago Trotz. Ball back into play. Coming out, Vair Ivanhoe, Del Tour. Moves it along. He will have a pretty tough cut shot toward the goal. You watch the flag man, it is in there. Gonzalo Del Tour. Again. Excuse me to come out. Wow, big play, Trotz. Nilsson will move in it. Pressure on him from Julie Ronish was enough. And the play to Brad Blake.
Vicky, do you want just me to get your
Trotz nails it. It is wide. Out to the left-hand side. Big play in by Ronish. Big play by Brian Thomas to the backhand. Julie Ronish in position to pick it off. Just a bad break. Couldn't get it done. Turning upfield now. Looking up. You got Trotz to fire to Del Tour. Brad Blake to get to him. Del Tour checks down. This will give the play to the front of the goal. He is there. Lee Nilsson puts it in there. For Nilsson, that's his second. Lead is 5. Mannix with the polo ball. Nice job. Julian Mannix gets it out. Reaches down. Brian Thomas to get to him. Backhand nicely done. Picked off by Del Tour. He'd like to have it back. He will not get it back. Picking it up. Brad Blake looks up, not a lot to hit to. Moving it up, pass intended for Mannix. Thomas got a piece. Oh, Mannix. Big chance, unfortunately unable to connect, and it is kicked out by Trotz. And it will go over the side. They will put it in at that point. The clock, of course, will continue to run. That's long. We play 6 sudden death overtime if we are tied at the end of those 6 periods. Again, the polo field as you watch them mill around along the boards. 300 yards long. The clock is stopped. Ronish. That is well hit. That is perfect. Back to center. We have changed ends. Coming out. The Hawks move it downfield. Blake is there, tries to get to him. Blake moves it up. Checks up along the line, no indication for the flag man. We're going to try and get it back toward the goal, draws a big crowd. And play will move to the goal right through there. Back. Off the throw, and they'll play for field position and the throw-in. And Trotz has got it, expected to hit it as hard as all. Big play by Blake, near side. That is huge. And Brad Blake will not have time to score, but he has the throw-in about 100 yards out. 8-5. 3 is the difference in the 5th. Ivanhoe have the lead. The clock is stopped, as I like to say, as quickly. Ronish. He would have liked to have something a little different coming out of there. Trotz. In behind. You have Mannix is 1 for 1 from the free throw line. The lead is 2. And we're at center. We're at center off the mount of Julian Mannix. 8-6. 2-goal lead. Was for Blake to turn around. Not a lot to hit to. Daniel Owner starts to move up into the game. Julian Mannix is open to the right-hand side. Del Toro knocks it down again. Second time doing it the hard way. Sacrificed his body, back shot. Boy, that was not what he wanted. Ronish steps in, cross in front, Trotz, and again, if you didn't see that one, you were not listening to me earlier. That was textbook. Blake kept the forward motion and made it absolutely perfect. I'm not sure. Clock continues to run. 4. I'm going to say about 4 1/4 somewhere. Difficult to see the last 2 numbers. Blake for the Hawks. Draws a huge crowd. Thomas backhand to set up. Trotz, but Blake. Oh, Trotz. Big play to get him out. Couldn't get the ball. Ronish the backhand. Del Toro, however, will go to the plate. Daniel Ronish will step in. Del Toro thought he might have been fouled, but he may have also checked up according to the umpires. Play continues down the side to Julian Mannix. Trying to defend up Brian Thomas. Thomas, good play. Del Toro now back to the play. The backhand. Trotz. Ronish in front. Textbook. Trotz downfield. Would have liked elevation for that very reason. And because Ronish's horse stopped the ball, coming back, Brad Blake has to deal with Trotz. Trotz now in behind. He's not going to outrun Blake. Blake has a lead by 3. Make it 3.5, make it 4, make it 5. Brad Blake to the goal. This one is wide. Back line. Trotz. For Ivanhoe. Clock runs. Looks like 4 something. Low 4. Ball to the side. It'll bounce and come over the side, and you will get a good look at them right now. They will line up on Rick Sears. Ball back into play. Coming out, Faber. Daniel Ronish. The Hawks. Looks up. Mannix is open. Ronish holds. Mannix now covered. Ronish to come back around. Might have released earlier. Doesn't matter. Too late now. Santiago Trotz will move downfield to get it behind Blake. You know Blake's got the speed to catch him because he outran him just a moment ago. Brad Blake is there. Point well taken. Trotz, however, got lucky. Not that time. Out to the side. So you knew Blake had the speed to catch him. Catch him he did. And we're coming out the other way. Ronish to move it. Although it will be Del Tour at the back end after Julian Ronish put it up there. No one in a white shirt got to it. Trotz once again, this time. He doesn't get it as well. Coming out. Blake downfield. Del Tour thought he was fouled. In fact, he looked to make sure the umpire was in position. In fact, he was in the meantime. Brad Blake in behind. Brian Thomas. Nice play, Thomas. Del Tour will not get it. Lee Nilsson over, picking it up. Daniel Ronish lays it back up. Brad Blake is there, the intended receiver. Del Tour just handled by Brad Blake. Can't get it to the goal. Right there. Ronish is in. It is in there. Line up on the umpire, Rick Sears. Blake back in the field, he has changed horses. Trotz with the play. Tied at 8. The lead was 5 goals at one time. You do the math? 8 minus 8 is 0. That's not a lead. Ronish to the play. The backhand to set up Blake. Blake on a fresh horse, remember. And we have a red flag call. Mannix hits it, and it is wide. Off the back line. It's like about a minute, counting down to 10 left to go. The backhand, Daniel Ronish to the side to be picked up by Brad Blake. Trotz is there with the pressure. Ball moved downfield on the fly. Daniel Ronish. Brian Thomas is there. Ronish, Thomas, ball to the goal. Del Tour. We'll check in there. Had you going, didn't I? We come out the other way. Trotz dodged a bullet. Trotz to Thomas. Right down in front. That's a well-hit ball by Brian Thomas. That will put Brad Blake to work with 30 seconds left to go in the period. Brad Blake now with the play. He's appealing for the foul. As we move around the other way. Big effort, playing for field position. Remember, the 10 seconds left to go. Julian Mannix, well-hit ball, albeit into the corner. Checks down, wants to keep it on the field, does not want it to go over the back line. That will give the back line to the other team to start the period. Job well done. They'll deal with it there. And that is when they'll start the 6th final check of regulation time.
No problem.
We're tied at 8 to start the 6th final check of regulation time, I remind you. Blake would like elevation on it. He's not going to get it. Stop down in front. Game saver. Well, almost. Brian Thomas. Let's lead for the first time this evening. 6 unanswered goals. Coming out. Blake. Backhand. Nice job. No one there. The play 2. Del Tour. The backhand. That to be picked up by Trotz. He's got it, looks up, however, Blake is there, left-hand side, deep on it, but Julie Ronish to get in to make the hook. Trotz now draws a crowd, moves it up. He now to work against Blake. Blake, big job, got Trotz out. Julie Ronish was there. This is not going to go. So a big play by Blake to get Trotz out. Ronish unable, but the other Ronish has Daniel to come out the other way for the Hawks. The lead remains with the Hawks now. Blake, downfield. Julie Ronish. Well hit ball, up 4. Julian Mannix, Brian Thomas is there. Big play by Thomas. However, Daniel Ronish, well set to Brad Blake. Trotz is there. Blake had the play. Trotz, big play. And will come out the other way. So Ivanhoe need one. They need one now as Brian Thomas comes in and has the play picked off by Brad Blake. And remember, Ivanhoe must score twice to win this game. Daniel Ronish with the play coming in. Santiago. Hit by Trot. Absolutely perfect. Fourth penalty for conversion. If you give the conversion to Brad Blake early on, which I did because I'm the scorer. Clock stops. We're tied. Coming out. Clock stops. Daniel Ronish moves it up. This is picked out by Trot. Big play. Daniel Ronish again to the backhand. Into traffic coming out. Del Tour to Trot. Santiago Trotz in behind on the fly is Brad Blake. Lee Nilsson trying to pick up Blake. He can't do it. Blake gets close. Will he be close enough? Trotz is there. Shot to the goal. This is in there. Santiago Trotz. The lead is one for Ivanhoe. And it's spectacular. That's the polo ball I'm talking about. Thomas moves it up. Blake wanted the whistle. Del Tour wants the ball, didn't get it. Check it in. Caught. To go through. Shot to the goal. That's a well-hit ball. Drops down. Lee Nilsson in a hurry to get there as well. Del Tour. Defensively, Brad Blake gets it out. Nice play, Blake, to set off Ronish. Daniel Ronish now to move it. He'll go to Mannix. Mannix by himself. Julian Mannix now with just over 2 minutes left to go. Brian Thomas to reach out to get to the hook. Nice job, Thomas. Better job by Mannix to move it up. Drops in. Trots the backhand. Ronish right there. Del Tour has the polo ball. So no backup for the Hawks, and Del Tour has the play. The lead one, 10-9. The front end for Thomas. Just over, as I said, 2 minutes left to go. Difficult to see the clock, don't quote me. Blake for Ivanhoe. Everybody in front. Julian Mannix calling for it. Won't get it, not this time. Del Tour to set up Trotz. That's a nice play. If he can get to it, he can't. Gets it now, however, in Daniel Ronish. Picked it out. Daniel Ronish, the backhand. Can't get it. Drop it in on that. Trotz, near side to work it out. Now the strong side. Brad Blake is there. Remember Ivanhoe playing with some time here. They have the lead by 1. Although a defensive mode could cost them. To the side. Backhand, Ronish. Picked off by the other Ronish to move it back. There he has it. Looks up front. Julian Mannix is open. Daniel Ronish. Lee Nilsson to get to him. Reaches out. Can't get him. Daniel Ronish. Nice polo to keep it going. Still has the ball. Draws a crowd. He'd like to hear the whistle. That's not going to happen. Brad Blake steps in to move it up. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. Front of the goal. Brad Blake. Look for the shot to the goal. It's close. Trotz gets it out of there. Not as far into the horse as far as he wanted now. Blake with Del Tour. Boy, we get a good look at it down at that end. Stepping in Ronish. Trotz to the play. Thought he might have been fouled. Ronish to move it out. Daniel Ronish, front of the goal. Thomas is there, the backhand. Nice job, Thomas. Good try by Mannix over wide to the right. Ivanhoe must be perfect. They cannot foul. Foul, it's tied, I'll guarantee it. Trotz moves it up. Brad Blake appealing to the umpire. You heard the umpire tell him to play polo. Ball drops down over the side. That will do it. The final score, they have won the J. Vair Anderson Cup. Ivanhoe 10, the Hawks 9. If you didn't enjoy that game, you are wrong. The presentation, as I said, by Ann Kendall of the J. Vair Anderson Cup. Thank you.